Welcome to the Digital Thread. I'm your host, Cassandra Yoakum, and today I have Derek Mills from the Autodesk Tandem team joining me to talk about a new and exciting opportunity. Welcome, Derek.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
So I'm thrilled to announce the release of Tandem Connect Beta. Tandem Connect will allow you to securely manage the data across complex and fragmented business systems, protocols, networks, and formats. In short, it's here to make the creation of a digital twin both repeatable and accessible. So I brought in Derek to explain more about this new and exciting opportunity. Derek, let's hear your thoughts on Autodesk Tandem Connect in beta.
It's a great opportunity for customers to leverage not only their investment in Tandem, but their existing systems as well. So think about EAM, CMMS, SCADA, BMS that already have mature and rich data, live data, and start to tie that together to continue evolving through that digital twin maturity process from just descriptive and to now a informative digital twin.
How much freedom will our clients have with Tandem Connect Beta? What kind of other systems all can they connect to?
All right, so for the beta, we're going to start small, not open Pandora's box right away, and select a few very common use cases amongst our Tandem user base, getting that live BACnet data into the platform. So BACnet data had been previously a little bit isolated, or you needed some sort of custom code or BMS vendor provided solution before actually getting it into Tandem. Tandem Connect is going to allow you to become a bit more vendor agnostic, especially if you have multiple BMS providers at different facilities that you might own and operate. So after that, we'll tackle some more complex use cases, integrating with Maximo, for example, populating asset data into Tandem automatically and staying in sync with those systems, automating work orders based on thresholds, and populating that work order details back into Tandem to easily navigate and maintain those assets.
So we also have an Autodesk Tandem Data API. Can you explain the difference between that API and Tandem Connect in beta?
Yeah, with the Autodesk Tandem API, it's very powerful, fast, efficient. Could be a little difficult if you're not a true programmer. So with Tandem Connect, we're actually utilizing that exact same API, but we're hoping to ease that a bit for a wider skill set and provide you a graphical interface to develop and execute those integrations both on-prem or in the cloud. And with our plugin library, we'll just natively understand and access those Tandem APIs, but other systems and their protocols as well.
You mentioned that it's a graphic-based interface. That's one of my favorite parts of Tandem Connect is that node-based visual. Can you go ahead and show our audience what this looks like so they have a better understanding?
Sure. We can take a look at this basic example just to give you a good understanding. So this pipeline or flow is actually going to be available, ready to go from our marketplace. And this is going back to our BMS to Tandem example. So the way that this works is we have 3 plugins on the screen, and it starts with the BACnet plugin. So this plugin is going to hook up to your BACnet router. There's a few settings that we have to put in, but really the most important setting here is the BACnet router IP address. This is what's going to allow us to find all these sensors and information from that BMS system. So you can configure that. We've already configured how to map that data to Tandem. You don't have to do anything here. And then if we double click the Autodesk Tandem connector, all we have to do is put in a few credentials for our specific environment and deploy this out. So this will actually go to your BACnet system, transform that data into a format that makes sense for Tandem, and automatically create that streams and start sending those values. So what you might also want to do is tap into other systems such as an MQTT broker, or perhaps you've got some generic REST API calls that you'd like to make and get that data into Tandem. So we could go through these plugins, double click, configure them, and then hook that up as well to get that data into Tandem.
I love how visual it is, and I know it's going to be a lot easier than using an API. Just to dive a little bit deeper, I'm curious if our audience is going to want to know if they have to be a programmer and have that skill set to use Tandem Connect in beta.
Not necessarily. So as you can see, we do offer some low-code data mapping transformations where just as long as you understand and know the format of the data that's coming into the plugin and your target format that you want the data to look like, we've got the ability to just do some dragging and dropping and linking of the data to create that code for you in the background automatically.
That's awesome. I really love how we're opening this up to a world of customers who might not be or have a programming background, but they understand their data and their different systems, and they'll be able to connect this on their own. So you previously mentioned that we have a limited rollout of the beta. Can you touch on what access they'll have right now? What kind of integrations our customers can start doing today?
For the initial beta release, there's going to be about 24 or so plugins that address a good number of the much requested systems by our customers. So there's going to be a lot of HTTP and REST API capability for getting data in and out of Tandem to external systems, Microsoft Dynamics 365, IBM Maximo, MQTT, BACnet, Azure IoT. And then shortly after, we're going to release another 27 or so plugins, which include systems such as Esri, Modbus, OPC UA for SCADA, SAP, various AWS plugins, ServiceNow, and more.
Well, that's also exciting. You know, I hear a lot of people requesting the ability to connect to some of those systems. So just to see that we're giving so much freedom to our customers and how they can integrate their data is just really exciting. I'm curious if you want to show us a couple more examples of integrations you've been playing around with.
Sure. We can start with this basic one right here, which is simply just getting external API weather data into Tandem. But really, the example isn't getting weather into Tandem, but really what we can do is replace this plugin right here with any API-capable system and get that data into Tandem. So to take that a little bit further, what we can do is use this pipeline right here, which will go through and scan your streams and look at all the current values, to which we can set thresholds. And if we exceed a threshold, send out an alert of our choice. So you can see here, I've created one for a text alert, which looks similar to something like this. We've got data from the field. Here's where it's located. Here's the reason why that alert triggered. But I easily could have picked Slack or Teams as well. So this pipeline right here is going to get even simpler over time with the use of our Tandem plugins. So what the user will have to do is just go to the marketplace, download this pipeline, and then fill out a few parameters based on their Tandem environment in 4 different locations here, and this thing will be set up for notifications. The next one is we had somebody in our Birmingham office that wanted to get live solar data into their Tandem environment. So the one thing I wanted to point out here is he's going to different parts and different API endpoints, but having the ability to merge data from each of those API endpoints in order to get information to his Tandem environment. And finally, this is another example of merging data from various systems into Tandem. So as you can see, in some parts, we're going into IBM Maximo, going back to Tandem, and then correlating and merging and extracting that information to make sense of it so that we can send data to streams, send asset information from Maximo to Tandem, as well as create work orders and write that work order information back to Tandem.
So I'm curious, what kind of educational resources are we planning to provide our customers?
So we're currently in the process of developing a video series for a number of the targeted integrations that we want to test our beta program with, as well as documentation and walkthroughs. We've also got our Tandem adoption specialist to work with as well.
Do you have any last parting words, any thoughts you want to leave with our audience today?
Yeah, I would say sign up for the beta, bring your ideas, your use cases, and see how we can help deliver and evolve your digital twin journey.
Thank you so much, Derek, for sharing your thoughts. We are so thrilled for the Tandem Connect beta. If you want to join the beta, please join the Insider Lounge for access. I'll drop the link below. I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you.